Hey everybody, Jimmy Smith. This time talking about something that I wasn't able to comment on because I was out of town for the July 4th weekend and then vacation, so I wasn't able to discuss Alex Pereira, not his performance against Yuri Prochazka, right, where he won by knockout. We all saw that. But a lot of people, Dana White saying that Joe Rogan wants him to move up to heavyweight. And how's he going to do it heavyweight? And oh my God, unbelievable. What's he going to do if he went to heavyweight, if he fought the champ, be it John Jones or someone else? Well, there's something no one is talking about, and I'm going to get to that in a minute. But before I get to that, let's talk about the traditional problems and difficulties with somebody moving up weight classes like this. Alex Pereira is the exception to the rule. And the rule that I have, that I tell people all the time, is power punchers generally don't move weight classes very well. Why? Because you move up in weight class, guys can take the punch that leveled people at the lower weight class. The easiest example of that is Robbie Lawler, who was a great 170-pounder. I put him third or fourth all-time, right? Say GSP, Kamaru Usman. Then it'll be Matt Hughes, Robbie Lawler for that third or fourth spot. At 185, he was okay. Was not great at all. Why? He's a power puncher. One of the most versatile guy in the world. He could wrestle a bit, but his ability to hit you with one shot and lay you out was the secret to his success. At 85, that didn't happen. He lost to guys, Tim Kennedy, Jason Miller, who were, good, not great. That, comparable guys at 170 he would lay out, but at 185 they could take that big shot and force him to rely on other aspects of his game that weren't as developed. So, generally speaking, guys who just, I hit really hard. I've seen it with my own eyes many times. They move up in weight class thinking that power is going to translate, and it doesn't. They have to become combination punchers, and they're not. Or they have to become more accurate, and they're not. Or they have to be more versatile, and they're not. So, Alex Pereira, not only did he make the biggest jump possible in MMA, which is 85 to 205, but he kept his power with him. We also don't know what that cut was taking out of him at 185. So, at 205... could be his just natural build. His natural weight class is 205, and he was just a guy who could really cut to 185. But whatever the cause, or he's just God-gifted with heavy hands, the idea that he carried his power up 20 pounds, almost unheard of. Now, old school fans will go, Anderson Silva did it, didn't do it at the title level. Beat Forrest Griffin after Forrest Griffin was champion. Beat James Irvin. James Irvin, never a great fighter at 205 pounds. So Anderson Silva kept that power to some degree. We never got to see how he did against the best of the best at 205. So there was that. Another thing is right now, the 205-pound division. I say this all the time, that at 170, you can't go anywhere throughout the history of welterweight without being a great wrestler. It's always been a wrestler's division. Either you're a great wrestler or you know how to deal with great wrestlers. You can't get to the top without dealing with that. 205 periodically has a standout wrestler or standout wrestlers at the top. Right now, it doesn't. So, DC, Randy Couture, even Tito Ortiz back in the day, big physical wrestlers. And I don't just mean wrestlers. I mean guys who wrestle first and everything else second. Right now, 205 has some versatile guys. It doesn't have a prime DC, a prime Randy Couture who would take you down first and then work the rest of the game off of that. There are guys who are versatile that have decent takedowns. Jan Blachowicz, right, for example. Glover Teixeira, Yuri Prochazka, they can all take you down. They're well-rounded mixed martial artists. They weren't D1 guys, Olympians who really had that ability. So right now, Alex Pereira is in an era of light heavyweight where he can get to the top and stay at the top, which he's doing, without running into that wrestling guy who's really going to test his abilities on the ground. The only person that might do that, should he move, are heavyweight guys. Right now, there's no one at 205. Magomed Ankalaev is number one, the only guy that's going to do that at 205. And I think he's the biggest threat right now to Alex Pereira, which is why I think they keep him way away from Alex Pereira. I don't think, because they want to basically leech, because he's so popular and he's such a big star right now, they want to leech all the value possible out of Alex Pereira. You don't put him against a Magomed Ankalaev, who I do think does have the size, is well-rounded enough, and has the wrestling to make it a really ugly, difficult, dirty fight. Probably wins by decision, but it's not going to be a fan-friendly kind of fight because he's not going to stand and bang with him. So 205 right now is the kind of landscape where an Alex Pereira can have not just success, but these highlight reel knockouts he keeps giving us, is because the division doesn't have that guy who's going to Greco you to death or grind you against the fence with a takedown and all that stuff. So right now 205 is kind of lined up for Pereira, and he's doing very, very well with it. So should he move up to heavyweight? It would be a one-off. It would be against the champion. It would not be, I'm going to climb the ladder and see what I can do. No, why is he going to do that, right? If I'm going to go there, and he said that. If I'm going to go there, I'm going to fight the champ, and that's going to be it. The time that I knew Conor McGregor was in trouble against Nate Diaz was not when Nate took him down. It was before that. When he hit Nate with a good shot in their first fight, and Nate didn't go anywhere. I kind of saw Conor go, oh, crap. A shot that would lay somebody out at 45 didn't work against not only a 55er, a hydrated 55er at 170 pounds. Nate has a really good chin. Those shots that Conor could usually use to get somebody off of him weren't working against Nate. And Nate kept kind of just marching him down and ended up taking him down and finishing him. So in the second fight, Conor was more of a combination puncher. He punched in combination. He got out, rested up a little bit, and would fight in spurts throughout that fight, and he ended up winning a decision. So I want to see at heavyweight if Alex Pereira would make that adjustment. Does he have heavyweight power? Yes, but here's the kicker. In the heavyweight division, his power is average. What makes him special and different is that he's a middleweight and then a light heavyweight with heavyweight power, and that makes him different. When you throw him in the heavyweight division, he's just another heavyweight puncher. They're all powerful punchers, right? They all hit hard. So his power isn't, I don't think, exceptional in the heavyweight division. It's normal for a heavyweight to hit really hard. So you're kind of taking his best attribute and making it normal, right? You're putting him in an environment where everybody does what he does, which is hit hard. So he has to then do something special or different, which is become a better combination puncher, right? Be super versatile with his strikes. He is a world-class kickboxer. Can he mix together his kicks and his punches and, do some clinch work or whatever the deal is that takes him out of, I hit you one and you're down. I think he hits you with one good one against a big heavyweight who isn't cutting weight, keep that in mind, he's not going to knock him out. He has to find some way to be a successful striker in a division where he can't knock everybody out with one punch. Now, can he knock him out with one punch? Yeah, but it's going to be super accurate. He's not necessarily the most accurate puncher in the world. He's got to be super accurate to knock somebody down at heavyweight. At 205 and 185, he could kind of maul you and get anywhere near here and knock you out. In the heavyweight division, it's going to have to be right on the button to knock somebody out. Can he do that? Can he become a more accurate puncher? This is somebody who's very, very skilled, having to be a bit more technical and perfect. That's kind of interesting to me. Can he make the proper adjustments as a fight dork? That's what I think. Can this person make the adjustments necessary to win at a different weight class or at a different level? But time to get to the one thing that no one is talking about, which is if he fights for the title at heavyweight in the next year or so, there are essentially four options. Jon Jones, Stipe Miocic, right, the winner of that fight. Tom Aspinall, Curtis Blaydes. Assuming Jon Jones beats Stipe and walks off into the sunset, let's, for argument's sake, say Tom Aspinall beats Curtis Blaydes. Tom Aspinall, his interim champion, becomes a lineal championship, and they fight. All right, so those are the four guys he could potentially fight. I don't see one guy there who stands and trades with Alex Pereira. This era of heavyweight is very, very good, and it's not very, very good because they're the hardest hitters in heavyweight history. They aren't. It's because they are versatile. Alex Pereira will have trouble at heavyweight, not because he has heavyweight power or doesn't have heavyweight power, but because this era of heavyweight will not stand and trade with him. They will do other things. They're light on their feet. They're accurate. They're versatile. They have a very good takedown. They're very explosive. They fight in non-heavyweight ways. This is not, Tim Sylvia era of heavyweight, these big plotting guys that a guy like Pereira can maybe stick and move and kickbox his way to victory, and they're not going to try and take him down. This is an era of heavyweight where these guys move like lightweights. They move very, very well. They tend to be, I don't know about takedown-centric, but they have a very good takedown. Curtis Blaydes does, Stipe Miocic does, Jon Jones does. Tom Aspinall is the only kind of converted kickboxer, but he does have a very good takedown. And he can take a shot on the way in to get an ugly takedown. It doesn't have to be beautiful. So I think the thing that people aren't talking about enough is this era won't stand with Alex Pereira, and it's going to make it very difficult for him to win a heavyweight title if he can't land the knockout punch. Very, very simple, right? When you say, man, he could knock out heavyweights, sure, if they stood there and, traded and said, I'm going to knock out Alex Pereira. If they did that, he can knock him out. I don't see this crop of heavyweight doing that. Any of those 4 guys. The only one who might is Tom Aspinall. Also think he's the most dangerous striker in that list, so he could probably bang with Alex Pereira. I think do very, very well. His leg kick, Jesus. I mean, his legs are the size of my whole body. So the idea that Pereira stands and bangs with Aspinall and has success, maybe, but God, Aspinall's really, really good. And he floats. His movement's very, very good. But it's the idea that even Aspinall, I think, this is stupid. You know, I'm going to take this guy down and put my frickin' heavyweight frame on him and make him work the whole time, and I'm going to pass guard and tap him out like I did Volkov. So the one guy that I think might stand and trade with him, I still don't think he does. John Jones, way too smart to stand and trade with Pereira. Curtis Blades, takedown is his first instinct. Stipe Miocic, assuming he even got past John Jones, he'd wrestle first. I don't think he's dumb enough to stand and train with Pereira. So the people are discounting, I think, the fight IQ of this era of heavyweight. They're not going to stand and bait with him. So it would be interesting. I would love to see it, but it would be kind of a one-off. Can he win a title and be an unprecedented 3-division champion? It's an interesting question that I think deserves to be answered, but it's much tougher than a lot of people are realizing because this era of heavyweight is very, very good. Like, subscribe, let me know what you think in the comment section. Be back later.